Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special reunion tonight. Will you please welcome the cast of Upstairs, Downstairs.
It's really wonderful to think that Upstairs, Downstairs is so fondly remembered after all this time, because I can quite clearly remember sitting in my friend Eileen Atkins' kitchen nearly 40 years ago, discussing an idea for a series showing the contrast between upstairs and downstairs. And we were sharing stories about her father and my mother, both of whom had been in service.
Your tea, my lady.
Thank you, Rose.
Mrs. Bridges thought you might be a bit hungry, my lady.
Rose, how do you find the new girl?
Quite satisfactory, my lady.
When the show first went into pre-production, the idea was that Jean's co-creator, Eileen Atkins, would play Sarah. But she had other commitments when we started filming. So, fantastically, that wonderful part of the cunning yet vulnerable Sarah came to me.
At the moment, I'm neither upstairs nor really downstairs, am I? I'm what you might be calling in between, my lady.
The show really was a kind of family affair, especially for us, because it took 6 months to shoot each series. In the first 2 series, 2 of our babies came along and created a bit of a problem for the writers.
Yes, I mean, it was... I did my best, holding my stomach in and everything, but there were only so many bundles of laundry that I could carry around. So the writers had to write it in, and I had the story that I had become pregnant by James.
There couldn't have been a corner of the empire more British than 165 Eaton Place. Despite, or more likely because, of the show's inherent Britishness, the series was lapped up all over the world by 70 different countries. In America, I believe, they thought it was actually a documentary.
You don't need a doormat. You want someone who will tell you when you're behaving like a spoilt schoolboy.
Oh, now that, coming from practically a schoolgirl, is...
Thought I'd supposed to have grown up.
It seems unimaginable to think that our on-screen flirty carryings on Upstairs were witnessed by over 1 billion viewers worldwide.
The series spoke volumes about the class system in Britain. Hazel, who I loved, was a secretary from a suburban background. Of course, that meant that she didn't fit in downstairs, and she didn't really fit in upstairs either, even when she married into the family.
Besides the ever-present class struggle, the series dealt with illicit affairs, unwanted babies, divorce, bereavement, gay relationships, drug-taking, and even suicide.
And what made the series very special for me was the fact that it not only tackled controversial and hard-hitting domestic issues, but it also reflected and personalised the history of the time. I mean, the sinking of the Titanic, the Wall Street crash, and the true horrors of the First World War.
It's not just me, is it? I mean, well, we're all in this together. Hundreds and thousands of us. Daisy?
It was such a joy to play opposite Mrs. Bridges, the wonderful Angela Badley. How sad she was taken from us before we could film the arranged spin-off with Ruby, Mrs. Bridges and Hudson running their seaside boarding house. That would have been such fun.
Have you been stealing my scraps? Have you?
Oh, no. Honest, Mrs. Bridges.
What is the matter now, Mrs. Bridges?
Ruby's been stealing my meat scraps, that's what's the matter.
So, let's salute everybody who was involved over the years in Upstairs, Downstairs, and especially absent friends.
Absent friends.